Welcome back, Math 8. This is Mrs. Koontz. Go ahead and get yourself some graph paper, or if you don't have graph paper, any kind of regular paper will be fine. You need a pencil and 2 colored pencils if you've got them. Then I want you to go ahead and try this system of equations below. Remember, way back, like 3 weeks ago, we were working on this. So I want you to go ahead and give this a shot and use substitution to solve this. So here's the solution. Hopefully you got 1, 2 for your point. But I have a question. How else could you have found the solution to this system of equations? How else could you have found a solution to this? If you said graphing was a way to find a solution, you're absolutely correct. We need to do a little bit of manipulation to move those parts around, and then absolutely we can graph those lines. And we would get the same answer as the point we got of 1, 2. Okay, so here's our opportunity to learn. I can dilate by scaling shapes on a coordinate grid. We're going to come to a consensus with some peers, and then we just recalled substitution. We're going to do one together, and then you're going to try. All right, let's get moving. All right, on your paper, I want you to go ahead and draw the graph below. It needs to be a 10 by -10. Notice that I have +10 and -10. And under my birds up here would be a +10, and here's a -10. We also need to make sure that we label our axes. So this is our positive y, positive x, and this is our positive y, and this is our negative x, and this is our negative y. Make sure you know those things. Make sure you write them down so you can remember. Okay. Write down this table over here too, where it says scale factor by 1/2, original shape, and scale factor by 2. Go ahead and pause the video so that you can do this. Take your time, make it a neat table so you can see your notes. Once you've written down this table, I want you to also look at the different points on this shape that just so happens to be called shape. I want you to go ahead and fill in the points here. So notice that each of those has a point. I've already filled in the S for you. Go ahead and do the H, A, P, and E. All right, so we filled in these points. Hopefully you have these same points as me. If not, go ahead and quickly correct yourself. Now I want you to jot down some ideas on what you think scale factor might mean. What does scale factor mean to you? I'm sure you came up with a wonderful list, but let's just jump into what it means. Scale factor, dilation, it means to make something bigger by a certain amount or to make something smaller by a certain amount. So let's look at this 1/2 right here. 1/2. If we're going to make something 1/2 its size, are we making it bigger or are we making it smaller? We're probably making it smaller. So let's look at the E. I want to look at the E. That's this one way down here. If we're going to say we want 2 times 1/2 and -2 times 1/2, what are we saying? Well, that's the same thing as saying 2 divided by 2 and -2 divided by 2. What does that equal? 1, -1. So right here for our E prime, we know that our solution point should be 1, -1. Okay, I want you to go ahead and try the rest of these points. Hopefully these are the points you got. Now try and graph them. What does your graph look like? All right, and here is that answer for our scale factor by 1/2. We scaled that shape down by about half. Not even by about, by exactly half. We took each of those numbers inside of our original points and we divided them in half. Okay, let's try scaling by 2. So if scaling by half means to make it smaller, scaling by 2 means to make it bigger. Go ahead and give it a shot. Let's see what each of those is. Well, here's our scaling by 2. Did we make that original pink shape bigger? Is it now twice as big? Notice that all of the lines from the original 0, 0 point are still on that same line. We're just expanding that line. That angle isn't getting any bigger, but we are making the shape bigger or smaller. So what I want you to do now is I want you to, if you didn't get these points correct, go ahead and correct them. And then just write yourself a note. How can you remember what you need to do next time? What did you do wrong? And how could you correct that error? Remember, this is all a learning process. It's new. So you don't have to be correct. We're trying today. Oh my goodness, here's another one. This is a 3.1. So our original points are T, R, and Y. So I want you to draw a new graph and copy the table below with the scale factors. And then see if you can work with a partner. Take about 2 or 3 minutes and scale down the original shape by half. Just scale down first. Go ahead and try that now. And this should be the shape that you got. Same shape, scaled down by half. We took each of the numbers from our original points and we just divided them in half. All right, so go ahead and take another 2 to 3 minutes. Work with a new partner if you have one. If you don't, work by yourself, that's fine. Work with a new partner and take those 2 to 3 minutes and try and scale factor these up by 2. So what does that look like? Go ahead and take a few minutes right now. All right, so here's our finished original solution with our scale factor by 1/2 and our scale factor by 2. Make sure that when you're writing those points and you label them, that you are giving them their prime numbers, right? So they're T prime, R prime, and Y prime. So really quickly, make sure that you have these correct. If not, just correct them and then make a note to yourself. What did you do wrong and how could you get them correct the next time? Remember, this is a whole learning process. You're not expected to understand or completely know how to do this today, but it's good to take note of what we did do wrong and how we could try to do it correctly the next time. If you got them all correct, that is amazing. Congratulations. Go ahead and write yourself a note. How can you always make sure that no matter what, you get it correct? Okay? And then what I want you to do is I want you to answer, what does it mean to scale factor by 1/2? Could you scale factor by 1/3? And how might we do that? Go ahead and answer those 3 questions and rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 6 on both the scale factor by 1/2 and the scale factor by 2 with a partner. How did you do? How many of those did you get correct? How many did you make an error on and have to fix? And how did it go for you? Go ahead and do that now. Last but not least, we've got our closure. That means we're almost done. On your paper, I want you to answer these questions. When we are dilating a shape, which one was easier for you? Scaling down or scaling up? Why was that one easier? Then your other question is, why was the other one more difficult? So if one is easier, why is that other one more difficult for you? Go ahead and answer these questions on your paper. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I can't wait to see your faces next time.